those are just a few examples of how nature is inspiring breakthrough technologies. With us to dive a bit deeper into this business opportunity of biomimicry, Advait Holkar, who is building a company in this space himself. He is the founder and CEO of Praio. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
A biomanufacturing startup focused on low-cost production of biocommodities. Fascinating topic to me. Tell us a bit about your company, firstly, and how you're using nature's designs in biomanufacturing. What kind of problems are you solving that traditional methods have been really struggling to crack?
Yes, of course. So a little about the company. It's based out of my PhD work at UCLA. We are currently based in Berkeley and are supported by Advait and part of the Department of Energy Cyclotron Road Fellowship. And so what we are doing is, now think back your biology textbooks. So, you had these cell diagrams with a lot of these different organelles, mitochondria, nucleus, whatever. It's a big, intense pipeline. So what we are doing is mimicking parts of it outside with synthetic polymers. And by doing that, we are creating what I call artificial protocells. And the advantage of that is we are mimicking the efficiency with which nature converts chemicals. And that efficiency can be translated into dollars. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get people's attention. So now you're literally in the trenches building a biomimicry company. What's the size of this market opportunity that you're chasing? And when you bring these somewhat wonderful anecdotes to people's attentions, I'm sure it does get their attention pretty quickly.
Right, right. So in terms of market opportunity, it's a matter of how much of the chemical industry can we slice into, right? Because the chemical industry is a $1 trillion industry that employs millions of people. So to begin with, we are working on converting bioethanol into these low-cost commodity chemicals. And that itself is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. But beyond that, I see the application of this technology ranging from pharmaceuticals all the way to fragrances. So it's a big blue ocean out there.
Okay, so you talked about pharmaceuticals and fragrances, but I presume there are a lot more sectors out there that could attract investment. What other sectors are kind of popping in your orbit right now?
Right, so anything to do with AI and biomanufacturing or biodesign is popping, so to speak. And that does make sense because AI does allow you to learn more and faster. But beyond that, anything with biomaterials can also be there, like functional, high quality materials that you just cannot make without nature's inspiration.
Well, how difficult has it been to raise capital? Because I'm sure you want that investors say, okay, show me where you've tried this and it's worked. When you talk about biomimicry and a startup, how difficult is it to convince people, this is where you need to put your money right now?
Right. So it does come down to the numbers, right? It always comes to the numbers. And there are instances in which, classic biomimicry examples could be your Velcro that sticks. It's designed from birds. It's also something like squalene, which is now made with, fermentation. So there are examples which have been, very, very successful. In our particular case, we do have our proof of concepts that our technology is working. And it all comes down to the techno-economic analysis. So to put a number, like a parameter on it, it's grams per liters per hours. That's it. How many grams of the thing can you make per liter per hour?
Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, your protocells are mimicking some of nature's most basic building blocks for chemical production. You talked a bit about that. Now, beyond sustainability angle, are you actually getting better performance, things like lower cost, higher yields, or processes that simply work better than traditional chemical manufacturing?
And that is kind of the point of it, right? So nature, sustainability, green chemistry is all great, but beyond that, nature is efficient. It has had billions and billions of years to evolve into the current systems that exist. So from that angle, yes, we are seeing improved performance, especially in low temperature aqueous solvents, like instead of using harmful chemicals and essentially adding that cost of cleanup, or as opposed to and the high temperature cost and the high pressure cost, we can do it at much milder conditions. So that's one big advantage. Secondly, we can build those pipelines. So one example is if you go from, say, drink your beer, you go from sugar to beer, it's very hard to do it anything other than nature, right?
Right,
Because
right.
it's a 15-step process. So that's kind of what we are trying to build, those small pipelines that nature does.
You know, it's interesting because you talk about those small pipelines, and then you see something as radical as the kingfisher, the way it can go through without making a splash. And I remember the problem with the Japan's bullet trains when they first came in, and to me, it's amazing people can make that connection. So, building on that, have you had big challenges as a biomimicry entrepreneur, the science, the marketing, things of that nature?
Yeah, so I started my entrepreneurial journey last year. Before that, I was a PhD student. So there we are supposed to like dive deep into our sector, but now as an entrepreneur, I need to consider a lot of other things, right? Like in terms of not just the technology, but the funding, the team, the market, so on and so forth. So that requires its own skill sets and learnings, right? So yeah, it is an ongoing process.